Generally, you should learn boxing in this order: feet, head, and then hands. Because if someone throws a jab at me and I slip out, their right hand is waiting for me. Left, outside, pivot, pivot in, slip, slip out, forward, back, outside, pivot. And you notice we haven't done any punches yet. This is the beginning level of boxing. You learn feet, head, hands, and you learn defense first. When I go like this, their right hand will always hit me first. But when I go like this, my left hand is closer to them, so it'll probably hit them first.
Out of the way, as he wants it so be, as he wants it so.
So we're going to go over the basics of the Wukong boxing style, starting with our neutral stance, right stance, left stance, and the readiness drill that will help everyone with their agility. We'll start with level 1, which will be just the movement and the pivots, outside pivot, inside pivot, as well as the pivot in, pivot out. What's the difference? We'll then move on to our head movement, right? And then we move on to our hands. Generally, you should learn boxing in this order: feet, head, and then hands. So we'll start with our stance. Now, from our very foot position, right, I have them just outside my shoulders for neutral stance. I'm going to bend my knees. My feet are actually primed. So when I turn, you'll see that my heels are just above the ground, right? Not super high like this, and you should not be getting taller. You should be getting lower and squatting as your feet come up because your weight is on your toes. Even if my foot is grounded, which is our second foot position, my weight is still on the ball of my foot, on the MTP of my foot, so that when I turn, it looks like this and not like this. Very simple. So neutral stance from the side. My knees are bent, my heels are slightly up. I have my hands up, right? This is our neutral stance that we use in our kata. Just keep this in mind. This is how you practice your punches, how to turn on this axis. Like there's a pole straight through my head into the floor. I'm going to turn, boom, into my punches, boom, without leaning over like this, boom, boom, and without sacrificing my fighting position. Okay, now we'll move on to right stance. Now, right stance, you put the right foot in the back. Right stance because it's a right-handed stance, right? The right hand is the power hand, so I put this foot in the back. You notice that I didn't bring my feet into the same line like this, right? I'm going to keep my foot over here on this line so I have a space between my legs. Now, the amount of this space varies on your style and what you're doing. If you're doing Muay Thai, a lot of people are a lot wider. But no matter what style, there's a front foot and a back foot generally, okay? So in a normal boxing style, we'll be around this width. And then my foot is going to be turned at a slight angle. So right now, both my toes are facing directly forward. I'm going to turn them at a 45. You notice both my feet are facing the same direction. If I turn this foot outward, right here, right, not only does it make it want to be flat in a grounded position, so it's not ready to throw my right hand, which slows it down, right? But also, right, I limit my reactiveness to the forward motion. So whatever's in front of me is what I want to hit, right? If I'm playing golf, the ball is in front of me and I'm facing, and then I turn and hit it. Well, same thing with fighting, but we also have to be defensive and have all these other movements. So having my foot just slightly turned in, right, with my hip in the back and my hand in the back with my shoulder is our position for right stance, as well as left stance, right? The back hip, back leg, back hand, everything's the same, okay? So this is all very, very easy, very basic for a lot of people, but a lot of people are not picking up on the reasoning behind the foot placement and, you know, which foot is prime, which one is grounded like this, right? The front foot is grounded, that's fine. The back foot is primed, knees are bent. You'll turn it out, sure, but the reason you turn it out is because you're going to disengage. I'm going to go that way, so I'm going to put my toe that way. I'm going to go like this, right? You know, you guys want to do the L step so bad? Well, there you go. That's the best way to do it. You can step before you do it, boom, boom. For a go step, much better maneuver, okay? So anyway, let's go into our basic movements for the readiness drill. Forward, backwards, left, and right. Very simple. I'm maintaining the space between my legs. And notice that I'm not stepping with my heel to my toe, right? I'm just stepping on my toes. Look from the side, right? Even though if my foot is grounded, my heel does not come first, like this. I'm just here. Easy peasy, right? Same thing to the right. Right foot first, left foot first, okay? Very simple. Now, if I say, the next commands I'll give you is forward, back, left, and right. The next command is pivot out. If I say pivot out, I want you to go towards your backside, right? Whether you're right stance or left stance, right? Or right stance, it doesn't matter. Towards your back is out. In is towards your belly button. You got an innie, that's inside. If your back is out, right? You throw your back out, things go out your butt, right? So pivot out. Right, now you notice I left my front foot where it is, right? I left my front foot right here and I pivot out. Boom. That's it. You don't move your front foot for pivot out because the first thing I say is pivot. So just pivot out. Pivot out. Pivot out. Pivot out. I did 4, that makes a circle. Now, if I pivot in, I'm going to go towards my belly button. Ready? Pivot in. Pivot in. Pivot in. Pivot in. Right? Easy peasy. Very, very easy, okay? So now we have outside pivot. Now, the first thing I said was outside. So I need you to step towards the outside, boom, and then pivot. Outside pivot, outside pivot, outside pivot. Again, 4, make a circle. Inside, pivot, inside, pivot, inside, pivot, inside, pivot. Now, I know you're not supposed to cross your feet, right, when you're fighting, but this is to be done at the correct distance. At zone 1 distance, when you're in clinch range, or if you're very close to someone, when you do the inside pivot, there's a very, very little weakness that comes with that. Now, if I'm on the outside, if I'm at jab range and I cross my feet, that's a big mistake. Keep that in mind with this maneuver, okay? So outside, you step out. Inside, you step in. Just cross the line just a little bit, right? Not overstepping, just right here. Inside, and then you pivot in. Those are our basic commands for just the normal readiness drill. Ready? We'll run through maybe about 30 seconds. You guys can follow along if you like. Forward, back, forward, right, left, outside, pivot, pivot in, outside, pivot out, inside, pivot, forward, back, forward, right, back, left, back, left, outside pivot, inside pivot, pivot in, pivot out, pivot in, pivot out, forward, back, right, left, outside pivot. So that's level 1 of the drill. You should be able to run that. You can call it for yourself for 3 minutes and do it also in your left stance. Forward, back, outside, pivot out, pivot in, boom, pivot in, ready, back, left, right. Everything is the same, okay? Now, the next level of the drill is just head movement. So we're gonna move our head. We're gonna slip inside. If I say slip by itself, then automatically assume I mean slip in. If I say slip out, that's when I'll tell you, slip out. Now, when I slip, you see my balance, right? Here, I'll get on this crease for you. My head is on the crease. When I slip, my head is off the crease. That's all the requirement is for the slip. You do not need to turn to slip. This does not help you come off the line. It helps you load your punch, but that's just a telegraph for me. Okay, so if you do it to me, I know what punch you're gonna throw next. I'm just gonna turn and do something and get ahead of you. But if you turn like this, if you slip like this, boom, now you could throw either one, okay? Slip out, you see how I didn't turn over? This also helps because if someone throws a jab at me and I slip out, their right hand is waiting for me. It's right here in front of me. But when I go like this, their right hand will always hit me first. But when I go like this, my left hand is closer to them, so it'll probably hit them first. All right, so that's slip in, slip out, roll in, roll out, ready? Roll out, slip out, outside pivot, inside pivot, all right? So there's 2 more moves we'll do here, and that's duck, right? Duck is when you just kind of squat, duck, and then pull. Now pull, you see my back foot here? It's primed, and it's gonna control my head. I'm gonna pull, boom. I'm gonna pull my nose, like my nose connected to something in front of me, and I'm gonna pull it. Pull, right? A lot of people drop their hands on it. It's natural to drop your hands, but try to keep your hands around this area. Ready? Pull, duck, pull, duck, slip, slip out, roll, roll out. So we put those two together, slip, slip out, forward, back, outside pivot, inside pivot, pivot out, slip, slip out, slip, slip out, roll, roll out, outside pivot, inside pivot, inside pivot, forward, back, right, left, left, right, left, left, pivot in, pivot out, slip, slip out, roll, roll out, duck, pull, outside pivot, pull, duck, slip right, slip out, outside pivot, slip, roll, roll out, outside pivot. All right, so that's level 2. And then we have our last level. Our last level is level 3, which is we're going to incorporate our hands. And you notice we haven't done any punches yet. This is the beginning level of boxing. You learn feet, head, hands, and you learn defense first. Okay, so how to control yourself first. So now we have hand catches, catching. Remember, the punches are coming to you. Don't reach for them. Let them come to you. Boom, right? It comes to you. Boom. Boom, boom. Hand catch. And then head catch. Remember, it's coming to you. That's why it's called a catch. Catch, 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 right? You can make a fist if you need more of a layer. Some people go like this. Don't open your hands, right? You can cup your hands, right? And relax your hands. That's cool. But don't flatten your hands like this. That's not going to help you or save you, okay? So hand catch, head catch on both sides. You got the slips. You got rolls. You should be able to defend your head now for the most part. Now, the body. That's our third catch. Body catch. You just you're receiving whatever it is. You're catching whatever it is. It's coming to you. Catch. It's coming to you. Ready? Body catch. Body catch like that. Boom, boom. Just like that. Make sure your knees are bent. You have a good stance. Good posture. Body catch. Boom, boom. Right? Body catch. Boom, boom. Head catch. Boom, boom. Head catch. Boom, boom. And when I call these, do both of them. Right? Do hand catches. Boom, boom. Do both of them. Boom, boom. You can do them left, right, left. I don't care. Ready? Hand catch. Pow, pow. Slip. Slip out. Hand catch. Pow, pow. Outside pivot. Head catch. Boom, boom. Head catch. Boom, boom. Slip. Roll. Roll out. Outside pivot. Pivot in. Hand catch. Pow, pow. Head catch. Pow, pow. Slip. Slip out. Roll. Roll out. Outside pivot. Outside pivot. Forward. Back. Slip. Slip out. Outside pivot. Right. Left. And then we have our last call here, which is going to be the post. Right? When you post, right, that's when you're not going to keep your hands to yourself. You're actually going to put your hands on the opponent, and you're going to stop them in a strong, strong stance. And when you go like this, it's not nice. Okay, it's very strong. Boom! If I was to do this to the wall, which I demonstrate in our further videos, right, and with further explanation in our other videos, you should be pushing the wall over strong. Just boom, boom, right? I turn over for my rear post because it's got to be strong, and I can come back with a hard hook. Boom, 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 boom. Right? So we have our post, boom, rear post, boom, right? Nice and firm, and double post. Right? Double post, boom. It could be, all these posts could be anywhere on the body, right? It could be the head, the shoulder, anything. The gloves, both, right? The hip and the shoulder and the shoulder, the forehead and the elbow. It could be anything, okay? So we'll combine all of this together for the level 3 of our drill, which is forward, back, left, right, outside pivot, inside pivot, pivot out, pivot in, right? We have slip, slip out, roll, roll out, duck, pull. Ready? Hand catch, pom, pom, head catch, pom, pom, body catch, pom, pom, post, rear post, double post, pom. Oh, I'm sorry, I lied to you. There's one more turn. One more turn is turn them out and turn them in. That's our last call. Turn them out. You're going to get behind their elbow. Turn them out. All right? I'm pivoting out. I'm doing outside pivot. turn them out, turn them in, boom. I'm using the other hand. I'm going to pivot in and get behind their elbow on this side, on their right side. Whichever direction I'm going, I'm going to use that hand. It's very simple. So left hand when I'm going to the left, right hand when I'm going to the right, no matter what stance. Right? I'm escorting the person. One mistake that I don't want to see here that I see all the time is people, when they go here, they go like this and they push them away. They're trying to keep them. Do not do that. Okay? Pull them. Pull them as you escort them the direction that you would like them to go. Pull. Pull. Ready? Turn them out. Turn them in. Turn them in. Turn them out. Post. Rear post. Turn them out. Post. Slip. Slip out. Roll. Roll out. Double post. Turn them out. Duck. Pull. Slip. Roll. Roll out. Slip out. Roll. Whoop. Outside pivot. Inside pivot. Forward. Forward. Post. Outside pivot. Double post. Turn them in. Slip. Roll. Pivot in. Pivot out. And that pretty much wraps it up, guys. So we're about to start our class now. That's level 1, 2, and 3 of our readiness drill. Please do this drill at all levels so that you can challenge your agility and do it in both stances.
As he wants it, so be. As he wants it, so be. As he wants it, so be. As he wants it, so be.